Good night, good afternoon, wherever you are in podcast land. Brendan Cunningham, the real estate doctor, here at EXP with Matt Paul. We're going to talk about all the things that you've been thinking about and are driving you crazy.
Or us.
Maybe we're driving you crazy. But a couple of things in the news. Thank God, the big items in the news in the Buffalo market are unfortunately the weather.
The weather, yep. It's been a little bit cooler than normal.
And I think we're expecting another snowstorm coming this way.
It's supposed to be widespread today, but
we're in the city where I think they said we're like in the donut hole, and it's sort of revolving around us.
Yep.
We had a whole bunch of snow up in the north, up in Lewiston, a lot of snow.
Swing down.
They expected in the ski country. But we're in the city, and we had like an 1.2 inches was like nothing.
And then how about South Buffalo that usually gets hit the hardest? You walked away.
I know, nothing. So it's beautiful. But I'm dressed for winter because we say it's coming to the schools are closed today.
No, they were yesterday.
I know they were yesterday, but I thought they extended it. Okay, Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday was a mix. That's right.
All across the board.
Everything got closed, and they didn't need to do that. Okay.
They did not.
So thankfully that was one of the big items. Well, not so big because it's typical winter. And the other one was we lost the football game.
Yeah,
and everyone lost their minds, and they fired the coach and all this kind of stuff. Yep. It's a big deal. They had a press conference today. I think the general consensus is they fired the wrong guy.
Yeah, I agree.
And as I'm driving in today, I was listening to Bella Via on the radio. I loved the Medal of Honor winner, and he was talking about there was a caller, and he was from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh and Buffalo have been comparable cities for a very, very long period of time.
Yep.
Rust Belt cities. Pittsburgh's a little bigger. It's actually a lot bigger.
Yeah, a little bit
more. But they had similar problems with the steel mills going bust and all this kind of stuff. But you know what? They were able to miraculously turn it around.
Yes. Yeah.
And one of the things they're saying is, was it the football team that started it? It might have been.
I'm sure
it might have been because they went to 4 championships in the 70s and 80s and 90s, whatever.
Yep.
And one of the things I was thinking is, and I was thinking positive, when Buffalo wins that Super Bowl, because that's where everyone wants us to be, that will be the starting point of bringing us back to the time when Buffalo was a world-class city.
Yeah, I hope so.
100-something years ago, the City of Light. They invented electric. Electric was the first city in the world, right here. The electric tower downtown. Okay, that was the building. And there were more millionaires in 1900 than any city in the United States. It was a great city. Now, you go through 70 years of mismanagement with the same political party, that's probably not going to help you.
No.
Oh, and it happens to be right around the time that Pittsburgh's going on their way.
Yep. Kind of moved that way.
So is it important to have a good football team? Sometimes it is, I think. As goofy as that sounds. So
it's important to the locals.
It's important to the locals. The good news for me, I think, is those are our big stories of the week.
Yeah.
They're not that big, really. We're talking about a game and weather.
Yeah.
But what we're not talking about is people invading churches.
Yes.
That is beyond. And I don't want to get into political things because we'll never have a show again that's not political.
Yeah.
But you know what? Anyone that said this is a good thing, please just don't watch us anymore. There's no way you can. It's not defendable.
No.
You don't go into churches, and I hope that how should I say this politely? Every one of those sons of bitches gets prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. You don't be going into churches.
No. Churches, schools,
off limits.
Yep.
That's not a thing. I don't care what your political affiliation is.
Yes.
So there.
Yep. So we covered it.
On another note, I noticed about 6 months ago, my daughter Kristen, I'm going to give my daughter Kristen a major plug. She's an influencer among other things. She does lots of things, but she has a thing called the Maple House, and it's this old, wonderful historical home in Bowmansville, and she's restored it lovingly. All the wood is there, and she does all kinds of things with thrifting and this and that. And she painted Nico's room. He's going to be 4, February 6th or something like that. She painted his room about 6 months ago, and I said, I'm thinking to myself as she painted it, I said, wow, it really looks terrific. But what I didn't say was, this is kind of a throwback color. Teal.
Trying to be period.
So it was like it was like big in the 90s.
Yeah. Yep.
And I get my magazine that I produce every month. I send to my customers.
Look at that.
The Power of Teal.
Oh, so she was a little bit ahead.
It's ahead of the curve, and they make references like, yeah, it was big in the '90s, but yeah, everything looks good in teal.
I think Miami's teal's
It's
always
always oh yeah,
Chaco.
Chaco thing, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, color, and it's actually a fascinating article, and I said, son of a gun, I got to show this to her because she's ahead of the curve. So there. Now, other things that are going on. You know how I like to search for crazy statistics.
Yes, national.
Here's a big one. Oh my gosh, this is a really big one. Home ownership. 40% of the homes in the United States are owned outright.
Yep.
40%. Now, if you go one step further, you say, well, who are these people that own the 40? They're usually older people.
Yeah.
Okay, because it took them 20, 30 years
Yep.
to pay it off, and so they paid it off, and that's what they're doing. Now, there's a lot of investment advisors who say, well, that's ridiculous. They should take the money out of that and put it in the market. That's a different discussion.
Yeah, totally.
And whether they're right or wrong, it's not important.
Yep. Everybody's situation.
But it changes the market.
Yeah.
When 40% of all of the home equity is with older people, and a lot of those older people don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah, or get involved in buying again.
They want to buy again.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of inventory that's sort of sitting
Locked
there,
up.
not locked up
Yep.
and not coming on the market.
Yeah.
Flipping that around, home purchasing is about at its lowest percent among first-time buyers.
Yes.
It's down to 21% of the
And
overall
the
market.
First-time home buyers.
It's all gone up.
Yes,
It's almost
significantly.
40.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I bought my first house. I was 28.
I was 22.
Okay.
And that was also, we've had other conversations. I grew up in the Western New York area, and when I graduated college, I was told by my parents, "Get out of here, go
Get out of here."
Yeah, we talked about
that. Yeah, we talked about the brain drain.
Yeah.
But now what's happened is because Buffalo it's fighting, it's clawing, trying to come back as a great city.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of things right.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of things wrong too, which we could fix that.
Yeah.
But my own daughter, she's an attorney. She could have worked anywhere, but she wants to be here. She likes it here, and that's a good thing.
It's great.
And it's also a good thing she bought a house when she was, let me think now. I think she was 30.
30. Okay.
Yeah. First house, and now she's looking to buy another house. So, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But yeah, so the strain is really on that first time buyer.
Yeah.
So how do they do it? Now, are there solutions? Well, okay. First of all,
a bunch of programs for first-time home buyers.
There's a bunch of programs. There's a bunch of grant programs that are out there. This and that. There's low down payment programs between not just FHA, but conventional mortgages. You can get those as low as 3. What is the FDA?
No,
MD. What's the one that sounds like the milk one?
It sounds like it's not
FHA. Not FHA. There's another one. MDA, whatever it is. It's the one that There's a bunch of programs that are out there. No, NAC is another program. Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America, wonderful program, and it's not just for people that have bad credit, which people think it's what it is. You could have bad
USDA.
USDA.
It's like milk.
It sounds like milk. USDA. I said, what am I doing buying milk? That's a crazy program, but it's a cool program.
It's a rural program.
It's a rural program, but sometimes you can buy houses in the city with it.
Yeah, depending on if they're within that.
Depending on income and stuff like that. But there are a lot of programs out there. But more than anything else, I think it comes down to the will to do it, to buy a house, and the conviction that you can do it, and the acceptance of the fact that you may need help.
Yes.
Let me just say this. If you are trying to buy a house on your own without the assistance of an agent, just stop. Just if
in this market especially.
Buy a lottery ticket. You got better odds. Okay? Now, you can say, well, I know so-and-so. Good. Knock yourself out. I live, and I think you're in my same world. You live in the world of probabilities, not possibilities.
Yes.
If I go like this really fast, I might become airborne. Probably not.
No.
Okay? And even if so, it's going to hurt my shoulder, and I have to go for that ACL thing or whatever. Not going to be a good thing. But there's all kinds of programs that are out there. But you got the first things first. Get an agent. You got to get an agent. And if you want to get us, we're good. He's pretty good. I'm pretty good. I got
love to help.
But we'd love to help you. But you have to you have to ask.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep. And you also have to, be somewhat serious, right? Like
and you got to be serious.
Okay.
So
you bad, you want
and
it,
you have to make some adjustments.
Yep.
Let me give you an adjustment. One of the things that I think generationally, the younger people, and I'm whitewashing this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little spoiled.
Yeah.
They grew up in some nice houses
like
around here,
Starbucks.
and they like their Starbucks.
Yep.
And you may have to give up Starbucks a little bit,
Yeah.
and you may have to hunker down a little bit and accept the fact that that first house that you're going to buy is not the dream perfect house.
Yeah. Or the,
Oh,
or the only.
Well, the one and only. Yeah.
Yep.
No, I mean, yeah. So if you see a house that comes on the market and it just comes on the market,
Mm-hmm.
chances are you may not get a shot at it if it's red hot on the market.
Yeah.
Because the people that are better and more qualified will probably step up and scoop it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's reality.
Yep.
But we do see houses that tend to linger a little long, either because the agent may have made a mistake in pricing, may have some conditions that are not acceptable to the average first-time buyer, because the average first-time buyer wants a house that's perfect.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's no perfect.
No.
I'm doing the Biden.
Yeah.
The
new builds,
the new builds. Yeah. They're nice. They're really nice. They're almost perfect, but they're not perfect.
Yeah.
So if you're holding out for that perfect home, yeah, you're gonna be holding out for a long time and just watch those years go by and watch those prices go up.
Yep.
Because they're already saying prices are going to be going up anywhere from 5 to 10% around here next year.
Yep. Yeah.
So you do the math.
And we heard as high as 16, but
let's be conservative. Let's say if it's only 5% and it's a $300,000 house, well, it's going up $15,000 a year.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
Yep. Where you could be.
When do you want to get on this bus?
Yeah, you could be spending that $15,000 in rents, and you don't get anything.
At $1,500 a month, it's $18,000 a year.
Yep.
So you could do that. How's that working for you?
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah.
So just understand you may have to adjust things, but have a conversation with, and I'm saying with an agent that knows what they're doing, and I think, for my purposes, because I'm a sensitive guy, and you know that, I think bedside manner is kind of important.
Yeah, customer service.
And they have to understand where you're coming from.
Yes.
And where you want to go to, and is there some way they can get you to that point with the least amount of pain?
Yep. And if they have a good team around them, right?
And they have a team around them. Yeah, we have teams around us that can help us.
Yep.
And my heart bleeds for people that really want to become homeowners and they're just stuck.
Yeah, or they give up before they even.
Before they start, or they never get past the Googling stage.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what? Google. Get to an agent. Talk to an agent.
Yes. Yep.
Talk to an agent. And if you don't like that agent, talk to another agent.
Yep.
And you don't like, talk to another. But I don't know that. I mean, I know there's enough good agents out there that can help you. And I can bank on knowing at least 2 right now.
Yes. Yep. Hey, Brandon. Yeah, we're here.
All right. And we'd love to help you get into the game and
navigate through this market.
And navigate through the market. Yeah, it really is a navigation thing. And the sailor analogy really works out well. We talk about the rocky shoals, of the mortgage process. And are they rocky? Yeah, they are.
Yeah, it can be.
Good sailor can get you through anything.
Yep.
And it's just one of the better things I did in life is I took up sailing. I'm really a learning sailor, and it's just so amazing what a good sailor can do.
No, absolutely.
And I think about these guys like Magellan, who went around the way. He got killed, by the way, along the way because he was a little tough on some of the sailors, but he got them around crazy several times around the world.
So you got to know the weather, you got to know currents, you got to know all sorts of things about
environment. The rocky shore, where the reefs are, what routes, what you can do.
Yep.
And it's interesting when you talk to sailors, they tell you things like, one of my sailor friends, he had to take a boat between Sardinia and Corsica.
Okay.
There's a little water between these. He says, let me tell you, one of the most treacherous bodies of water you ever want to sail through in the Mediterranean. Yeah, through that, because you got currents from both sides.
So
he says, it was really dicey going through there. But so there's things going on in the marketplace that are within your control, and there's things that are not within your control. So learn to control the things that you can, and learn to
Yep.
You know,
Accept and navigate
help.
around.
You got to get help. And I every once in a while I remember to say thank you God for allowing me to walk into the right real estate office at the time that I did, looking for an apartment, and because I thought that's all I could do.
And now you've had a career in it.
And now I've had a career in it, and I love. I'll pass the words on to you that the agent passed on to me, and she said, "Why would you want to rent an apartment? Why don't you just buy a house?" And I said, "Because I can't buy a house. I don't have any money. I don't know what the hell I'm doing."
Yeah.
And she said, "Me, 10 words. Sit down, Sonny. Let me tell you how this works."
There you go.
Sit down, Sonny. Let me tell you. So sit down. Let us tell you how this works.
Yeah.
Come into the office. It's not painful. Come in to see us. We'll go to see you.
Yep. But like you just said, you know, your first initial reaction was,
I can't do this. I don't have the money
if you're
to
in
do
that
this.
position, talk to us.
Yeah.
We'll help you.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
That's a very common feeling.
Yeah,
you know?
and I had to scare up the money, borrow people. And guess what? You can do that too.
Yeah.
There's no disgrace in that.
No.
Our whole economy is based on OPN, using other people's money.
Well, Mike was saying, you know, with cross country, they even have programs where they will help pay for your closing costs and put, you know, a down payment down. So, you know, and that it doesn't necessarily have to be paid back. It's more like a grant. So there's options out there. Just talk to us and we can get you in the right direction.
And let me give you some other words of advice that may help you. I don't think they're going to hurt you, but look around at some of the people that you know that own homes. Okay. And ask yourself, you don't have to ask it out loud, say, is this person any smarter than I am?
Yeah.
Because they're probably not. And you may be a lot smarter than they are.
Yep.
And if they could figure it out, you can figure it out.
Absolutely.
I mean, if we could figure it out, I mean, I'm not the dumbest guy in the world, but I'm not the brightest guy in the world.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's
it's not impossible.
steps. It's not impossible.
No.
I did a recent podcast with Troy
on our team.
And, you know, he's like 24 now, I think. He just bought his second multiple family property, income property. And he says, you know, there's no magic to this. This is a formula. He says, we just follow the formula. A, B, C, D. Just do this. Is it uncomfortable? Yeah, a little bit.
It can be.
It can be.
Yeah,
but it's not going to kill you.
Nope.
You know?
Nope. And now look, you know, within a year, he has two.
Within a year, under a year, in 9 months, he has two.
Yeah, and that's not units; it's properties. With about, I think he has a 4-unit,
3. So he's got 7 units.
Yep.
You know, and he's not even 25 years old. Stop.
Yep.
You know, this is like, great move, smart. You know, but as he said, you don't have to. This is not genius stuff.
No,
it's more the will, the fear, and sometimes just laziness and forgetting how quickly time passes.
Oh, that is for sure.
You know, a lot of times people say, "Oh, I don't want to lock myself into a 30-year mortgage." Guess what? It goes like that. Unfortunately, it does.
And most of us are moving within 5
to 7, 5 to 7, max 11.
So you're not living in that for the duration, and you know, get into something that's comfortable, that you can afford, that you're not living, you know, being house broke, and that you can position yourself to get into the next, you know, whether you're upsizing, downsizing, or moving out of the area.
Everyone wants to buy that forever home, and sometimes it is a forever home, but more
most of the time, not these days. It used to be like that.
Yeah. I mean, my daughter that bought the house when she was 30, she's already looking to sell it, and it's only been 7 years.
Yep, there you go.
You know, and she's right on the schedule.
That's common now.
In fact, I had to help her. She was putting one of those tables that goes up and down.
Oh, yeah, the Verta desk.
Yeah. And this is cool. I mean, she could just talk to it, and it goes up.
Voice activated.
And when she was putting it together with her boyfriend, thank God, because if she had asked me to do it, I get high just thinking about it. A million screws, 12 boxes, and all this kind. It was crazy. And the boyfriend was saying, he says, you don't want to put so many things up in this room here, because it was upstairs in an office off of one of the bedrooms. It's just because you're going to be moving in a couple of weeks. We have to undo this thing. So
good to think about that as well. You know, when you're moving, start packing up a little, you know, along the way.
Interest rates are good, as we mentioned last week. They're down.
Floating right around 6, a little bit below.
Around 6, which is the lowest it's been in 15 years. Since 2015.
Yeah, no, I have a 3% on my house, but I bought it in 20.
Oh, okay.
So 20 to 24 or 23 is when we were down in the 2, 3, and then 4,
Right.
and
Okay.
23.
But they're better.
Oh, yeah.
They're better than they've been for a while.
Yeah.
Are they going to get back down to 3? No, I don't
No.
see that at all.
No,
And,
mostly not.
and that would actually probably be a bad thing.
Yeah, it
if
was.
they did.
Yeah, I mean,
Because, yeah, I mean,
it did. It was
if they,
free money.
yeah, if there's already a lack of inventory, if the interest rate go down to 3,
Oh,
I mean, there'd be lines from here to the Peace Bridge.
Yep. But you would have more sellers that would be
And more sellers
willing to sell.
Yeah,
But the buyers are all pent up, and we have way more buyers than we do sellers.
It's the law of unintended consequences, which would not be super cool.
Yep.
I don't think.
No.
But
Nope.
yeah, I mean, the magic number is right around kind of where it is now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you could stay that way forever, that would be a good thing.
Yep.
It
I
won't.
agree.
Yeah, but
And we're 5, around 5 would be awesome. You know?
yeah, we've had our January thaw, and now we're going back into January winter.
Yeah, we had a December, really cold December. Then it thawed out a little bit. Now here we are back into the polar vortex. So.
Polar vortex.
Yep.
Yikes and double yikes.
Yeah.
But right now it's really pretty.
Yep.
Nothing
Just starting
going.
to snow.
A little curry and eyes, a little couple of twinkles out there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in ski country, you're loving life.
Yeah, they got about 2 feet of snow down there.
It's interesting how I can remember I have a nephew who went to school at Hamilton College, which is near Syracuse, and he says, yeah, they measure the snow in feet there. Well, they measure the snow in feet here too. Down there, they measure in feet, and 18 inches, and 6 inches is dusting.
Yep.
Yeah,
More or less. Yeah.
it would drop.
The kids headed off of school for less than that yesterday, so I don't know.
Yeah. Our kids have gotten really spoiled.
Oh, man,
I've been here for 40 years now. When I first moved here back in '85, no, you had to have like a lot of snow before they closed those schools.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of snow. Now it's like if the threat of snow, they cancel.
Yeah, or if it's going to be really cold, they cancel, which is, I think, it was the threat of snow and the cold temperatures that canceled yesterday. But what are you going to
do? And the threat of snow and the cold. I love the cold with the electric buses.
Oh,
you can't heat them in the wintertime.
No,
so you can't use them. What are we going to do with these buses?
Topic
and $500,000. That's a whole other $500,000 buses that nobody wants.
So I think time to wrap up.
Time to wrap up. Let's do it.
Yeah. Smash that like button and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. Please send us any of the questions that you'd like us to address on the show.
And remember, call an agent.
Please.
Other than that, Brendan Cunningham, the real estate doctor, saying, tune in next week. We love you, man.
Thank you for tuning in.